Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
Hello everybody, this is Laura with Jot and Tittle Vintage Typewriters, and I have a tutorial video for you today. We are going to take a look at this guy. This, believe it or not, is a typewriter. This is an Olympia SF, and this is a good traveling typewriter. So I'm just going to take it. The typewriter just comes with a shell over it that acts as a case. So I'm going to pop that off. And we happen to have the manual for this one. Flip that up, and so I'm going to show you how to use this typewriter. And then if you want to know more about this particular one, you can click the product listing link below. Whether or not if it's still sold, if it's available or not, there's still information and photos on there that you can reference. But first of all, this is the paper holder. Let me show you where to find the serial number. If you are interested, if you've got one and you want to know the year. So back here, and I had to get a flashlight to see it, but right there, stamped on the metal frame, is the serial number. And like I said, I had to use a flashlight to read it. And then you can go to typewriterdatabase.com. There can be a little bit of confusion whether you have an SF or a Traveler. Traveler is a little more squared off, but this one is a 1956. I think the first or second year that this was made. Okay, so this is burgundy keys, and I don't know if this was an off-white to begin with, and it turned kind of more of a yellowish, but it's a very pretty kind of a antique white yellow look. Over here, when you take your cover off, you have to lift up your handle. There's also a carriage lock, and I had it unlocked, so I just locked it. But when you open yours up, it's probably going to be locked, and it's going to be hard to figure out why your carriage isn't moving. Right back here is a little tiny lever, and you just press that back. That unlocks your carriage. This is your carriage release lever. Over here on the right side, the bell sounds really good on this particular one. And then the lever that's behind this one right here is your paper release, and we'll look at that in a moment. So your carriage is going to move only as far as you have the margins set, and the margins are set back here. They're very small little tabs, and mine happen to be fairly difficult to move, so I'm not going to move them. I don't know if there's a piece missing off of them or what, but mine just don't want to move very well. So that is how you set your tabs. It's a pretty straightforward, not tabs, margins, sorry. This is a pretty straightforward typewriter. There is no tabs on it. You've got a margin release and a backspace, and that's about it. All right, so let's finish looking up here. Up here is, on the left side, is a line selector. So when you hit your return handle, it's going to advance either one or two. Is there one in between? There is. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3, and then all the way up. Will it go to the top? No, it doesn't go all the way up. Okay. So 1, 2, or 3 lines. To open up the cover, just kind of grab it on the sides and pop it off. Inside, you'll see we have got a little bit of dirt on my ribbon, but it takes a universal ribbon. We put one in with a metal spool. You can go to our website at jotandtittletypewriters.com and find, we have a couple different options for the universal ribbon, including you can send in your own spools, and we will wind the ribbon on there for you. Now this one doesn't have a 2-color option, so it's a single color typewriter, because you can get different ribbon colors. They're out there, but on this typewriter you can only have one. So when you it's time to change your ribbon, make sure you flip this little metal arm back. You can't see it at first, but right over here it's a little tab, and you just flip that back, and that's holding the spool in, and then you can pop the spool out and back in. Now when you change the ribbon, it's very messy, so keep that in mind. Now you're going to want to thread your ribbon through this guide wire right here, which also happens to be your ribbon reversal. You need to thread it through that. And then I would go to the product listing I have available for this typewriter, and there's an up-close image, and just try to thread it as best as you can, using that image as a reference. And you may have to go behind or underneath or over the top. Once you take your ribbon out, you'll kind of see the little slits in the metal where you can slide your ribbon in. But it needs to look like that. Excuse me, my mouth is dry. Come over here, make sure your ribbon is threaded through here, which mine isn't. Oh, yes, it is. It didn't look like it, but it is threaded through, but the ribbon comes over the top and around back. Same with this side, top and around underneath. That's the direction of your ribbon. This also has a metal arm that holds that spool in. And then when you get to the end of your ribbon, it's not the end of the ink. You reverse the direction by tapping on, it doesn't matter which side, this little ribbon guide, you just tap on that, and that reverses the direction of the ribbon for you. So I'm going to pop this back on. Sorry, I have a very dry mouth. And so the nice thing is, when you're typing and you need to reverse the direction of your ribbon, you can just come here and just tap. You don't have to take the cover off, okay? So you just tap underneath. All right, and that really is all there is to this Olympia, but I'm gonna load some paper, and we're just gonna type a few things so that you can see everything. So you load the paper right behind this metal piece. You just set it there, turn the handle. Make sure that paper comes underneath the bar. Now that's where this paper release comes in handy. Mine lines up really nice, but if it was crooked, I pull that paper release, I can adjust it, or when you're done with the paper, then you use the paper release and you can take the paper out. So I've got my margins set, and you just type away. Here is your shift, is the big button. Shift lock is the small. So the shift lock will do the second set of symbols that are above the numbers. And then also they do capital letters. And then no shift is lowercase letters and the numbers. Then your arrow over here is backspace. Backspace does not erase, it just backspaces. And that is how you use an Olympia SF. All right, thanks for watching.